what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box?
You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Freehand is beating his net at the plate. Crawford is over there watching. Good see, sir. You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row.
Hey, how's everyone doing out there? Welcome to Word Home Media presentation of Enemy of My Enemy. I am Pete.
I'm Ryan. I am a lifelong Tigers fan and a Cubs fan over the last 30-some years. Pete is a hardcore, lifelong White Sox fan and more recent Brewers fan since they've become the spite of the North Side. That we pretty much just want each other's teams to lose. So that makes us Enemy of My Enemy. Episode 186. You can find us on enemyball.com and on social media at enemyball. I mean, I got to say, I'm starting off this show pretty angry. You already noticed in the pre-show how fired up I am. But, I mean, Tarik Skubal is out for 2 to 3 months. Tigers are in serious trouble. Framber Valdez really pissed me off last night, so we'll get into that. Your White Sox are only a half game out of first place.
I'm not going to say who said this was going to happen, but someone on this podcast said this was going to happen. I believe I was called delusional. Was it delusional? I don't know. You may have said delusional.
I don't think anyone could predict how terrible the AL Central is right now, as everyone is below 500. So that's a mitigating factor. But yeah, congratulations. Meanwhile, on the North side, the Cubs have won 17 out of 20. 13 in a row at home, including 2 walk-offs in a row, including last night. And they're in a celebratory mood. They're celebrating in a way that you and I have celebrated over the years, in the past at least, with a very interesting choice in liqueurs specific to Chicago we'll get to. Your Brewers have reinforcements, and Jackson Chourio and Andrew Vaughn returning. Did you get rained out last night? I saw it was postponed.
Yeah, rained out, rescheduled for a doubleheader on July 7th.
Oh. But we're going to finish the show with maybe my favorite segment ever. It's combining 2 of my favorite segments. I Wash, where we talk about the shit that doesn't matter, uniforms, logos, etc. in baseball. And I combine that with some hardball deep throat, the investigative journalism wing of Enemy of My Enemy. It's unbelievable, and it involves basically I can prove that the Yankees are terrified of their own fans and are just silly. So that will wrap up the show with that. I can't wait to I guess with that, we might as well go ahead and jump into the news. Biggest news is Tarik Skubal is out 2 to 3 months potentially. There's no official timetable, but when you're diagnosed with loose bodies in your elbow, history has told us that usually takes 2 to 3 months to come back from. I mean, Edwin Diaz has that right now. That's what sidelined him in Los Angeles. There's another guy. Maybe it's Hunter Brown. I always get Hunter Brown or Hunter Green confused. Imagine that. I think they're both out with a similar thing, but just devastating news for the Tigers. It's, I guess it's kind of weird because in his previous start, Skubal I think it was in the 7th inning, was kind of like grabbing his elbow a little bit and kind of shaking it. But I've seen him do similar things before. In fact, he's been like late last year, I think it was in August, he got taken out of a game and it ended up being cramps or just something. It looked scary as fuck. But he came back and made his next start and obviously drove him into the playoffs. But so I don't think anyone thought much of the issue in Atlanta last week, but he pitched again and seemed fine and was kind of unceremoniously scratched from his start on Monday night, which was with the announcement that he was having surgery just out of the blue. I think I texted you right after I found out. I was just out on a walk on a park kind of over by the Grand River and just sat down on a bench. I was halfway through my walk. I'm like, I'll just check Twitter. I rarely check Twitter in the middle of the day. I don't know why I was on Twitter when I was sitting in a beautiful park by a river. And the first thing I got slapped in the face with was Yahoo Sports News. Skubal having surgery. It was that tweet was 4 seconds old when I when I popped that up. So something horrible timing for me. But so yeah, it just kind of dumbfounded everyone that came out of nowhere, because he's been so healthy for so long that he just kind of gets to the veritable horse. That comes on the heels, of course, of Casey Mize going on the injured list, along with Javi Baez on the same night. So that now makes a total of 6 starting pitchers that the Tigers have on the IL, which is amazing and devastating. But, Scott Harris, he saw that we needed more depth in the starting rotation, because these things can happen. And one of those things he did to circumvent that is to sign Framber Valdez to a 3-year deal, $135 million, I believe. So you have like kind of a backup ace in the hole, so to speak. And especially, the timing was so weird. Came off Sunday night. The Tigers had to do a bullpen game, which they call pitching chaos, which worked so famously well at the end of 2024. It worked really well Sunday night because they were prepared for it and won the game. They were not prepared to do it 2 nights in a row, as the surprise announcement of Skubal on Monday afternoon happened. So that did not go so well, as the depleted bullpen got beat up by the Red Sox. So last night, you've got, your number 2 starter, Framber Valdez, coming out to kind of right the ship, kind of calm things down. You've got a guy that's, been around. He's won the most games in Major League Baseball since the beginning of 2021, I think that stat was. Just a veteran pitcher that you should be able to lean on, and you need to lean on at this point. He summarily gave up 3 runs in the first. There's an error or 2 involved with that, but he did give it the home run to make it 3-0. Ended up eventually giving up 10 runs by the 4th inning, concluding with 2 back-to-back home runs, at which the next batter came up, Trevor Story. Valdez hits him in the back because he's pissed off and wants out of the game. AJ Hinch has no choice, no matter what the score is, to keep Framber in the game to help the depleted bullpen. And Framber does the absolute opposite. And really, I think he chose to get out of that game because he was being embarrassed. And 10 runs, I understand, but this is what happens. You should never. I mean, it's not like he chose to give up 10 runs, but we needed you at this point, and he completely failed. Then failed his teammates, I think, by getting himself kicked out of the game. So there's history with Valdez. Last year, of course, maybe part of why he was not re-signed in Houston was the incident where he apparently intentionally crossed up his own catcher so he could drill him in the chest with a fastball. That was obviously frowned upon. That was a bit of a controversy. I didn't know about it until the offseason. I don't remember that happening, but it was a topic during free agency that would be an issue. And being a Tigers fan, I'll choose to overlook an incident like that. Maybe it was a weird thing. Maybe the guy fucked his girlfriend or something. I have no idea. But the evidence is kind of piling up that Framber Valdez might just be a bad teammate. And last night was a horrific example when the Tigers and his teammates needed him most. He really screwed him over, and I'm fucking pissed. I woke up this morning still pissed. You could tell I was fired up to do this podcast. I was glad we had this scheduled because I need to get this out. I got so much anger. Help me.
Well, I'm not going to help you. I'm going to make it worse.
You are going to make it worse, aren't you?
So, I spent the morning watching MLB Network, and something I was unaware of. I was also unaware of this catcher incident until they showed it on MLB Network, but they flashed up a graphic that Valdez does not throw a four-seam fastball. In fact, he's only thrown it 6 times since 2025. 3 of those were used in an attempt to fuck someone over. 1, he hit Trevor Story.
Yep.
2, he hit the catcher.
Okay. There's a third.
And 3rd, he hit another Red Sox player last year.
Oh,
in
boy.
Fenway.
Okay.
They don't have names on their jerseys. It was number 3. I don't even know who the fuck that is, but
it might be Story. I don't know.
But no, Story's 10. But anyway, I knew that because I remember that this morning.
Okay.
Sometimes I retain things, sometimes I don't.
I was gonna say, if you've got Trevor Story's number memorized, it's amazing you forget anything.
I know, right? Trevor Story number 10. Jesus, Smitty.
What an asshole.
You're such an asshole. How can you not know that? No, so he's thrown it 6 times. 3 times he's used it as a weapon. The other 3
So beware of Framber's four seam is what you're saying.
Yeah, he doesn't throw it. He doesn't throw it only with intent, it seems.
Wow.
Yeah, they said the same thing you were saying, that the catcher incident really made his offseason much longer than it should have been because of, you
think that's
fiery issues.
I mean, is that, I can't believe that was a huge factor. I'm sure it was a factor. It seems like I would think the amount of money and years he was asking for was the biggest factor. I'm sure it was I didn't see the show you're talking about. Was that DeRosa or somebody?
Yeah, DeRosa, whoever's on that morning show.
Well, I guess he would know more than me, but I just find that a little bit dubious. But I am seeing it now. I mean, I'm admitting that he looks like a bad teammate right now. So I get it, I guess. Yeah,
they were as fired up as you are. They were saying it was a selfish act, and I agree that the Tigers, pretty much you should have been on the show. You can have a seat on that show because they said all the same things you just said. So, I mean, you're a national broadcaster. I consider you right now, since everything you expressed was expressed on the show this morning.
I'm just trying not to be too much of a biased Tigers fan or anything. I'm just trying to tell you exactly how I saw it and what I think. I didn't even listen to Detroit Sports Talk Radio this morning to fuel my fire. Actually, all they're talking about today is the Pistons, which is cool, but I'm not that big of a basketball fan.
No.
But so yeah, I guess the world is now, and even my eyes are open to what a bad teammate Framber Valdez is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it plays out. The thing that's worse is he's probably going to have to miss a start now. They're saying he's most likely going to get suspended. So
he should. I mean, he did not. I saw that he would not admit that it was intentional, which is always a good idea.
I saw the
don't
interview.
Admit guilt. Yeah, so that will probably help him. But why wouldn't they take a game away from him?
Yeah,
right when the Tigers need him most. They basically have one starter right now, Kidder Montero. And I don't know what else they have going. They've got reinforcements. I don't think Mize is going to be out for months. I think that's a short-term thing. Verlander could be back anytime. He's also 43 years old, so he could tweak something at any moment again. Troy Melton is really interesting, but he's only started a few games for the Tigers. Then he got hurt in spring. They were thinking he might be the 5th starter or at least a long man. But to thrust him into a starting role in emergency situations coming off an injury, I'm not sure that's a good idea. So he might be, an option, but I think that's going to be down the road. There's trouble in Detroit instantly. It's kind of amazing. I didn't see it coming, like what a house of cards it could be as soon as you lose Skubal. Mainly because I thought Framber was the perfect, fail safe. You've got a veteran there that could help you, and he's immediately shit the bed and set it on fire.
Yeah,
that's an analogy.
I mean, like you said, the AL Central's up for grabs.
Tigers are in first place, by the way.
Yeah.
As I'm venting, they are still in first place.
Yeah. But
AL Central is below water.
Yeah. Everyone, the last place team is out by a game and a half. The 2 teams tied for second, the Sox and the Royals, are a half game out each. And then you got under 500s leading the division. So...
Well, we're going to get to your Sox in a second, but there is one positive thing happening.
Wait, I want to give you one more negative thing for the Tigers.
Oh my God!
That you may not know this.
Let's slip that in there.
The Tigers are a game under 500, and they haven't played a team yet this season with a record over 500.
Wow!
Every other team in the AL Central has played teams with winning records. The Tigers have not played a team with a winning record yet.
That's fascinating. That's even more depressing. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I want to get it all over with, so now you can go into your...
Yeah. The only thing I knew is they played basically all National League teams this year, which is really odd. I didn't realize they're all below 500 at this point. They played the Red Sox a few times, who I know are well below 500, but they do quite well against the Tigers somehow. Yuck. Well, fuck that. Yeah, I mean, I've just laid out why the season's almost over for the Tigers. Now you're just adding on to it, so thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to put the nail in the coffin for you.
There it is. There it is.
Hey,
May
you got
6th.
the Cubs. You got the Cubs.
It's Callahan's birthday, May 6th.
Happy birthday, Callahan. The
Day after Cinco de Mayo
is over.
Well, there is a ray of hope. His name is Kevin McGonigal in the Motor City. He came away with April's AL Rookie of the Month officially from Major League Baseball. But I'm not sure that he is enemy of my enemies current Rookie of the Month or in our running Rookie of the Year race, as we have to talk about your Mooney Murakami again.
Yeah, Mooney's just he's taking receipts like Frank, as I like to say now, because Frank
Thomas?
Receipts. Frank Thomas takes receipts, and who?
Never heard of him.
I thought you were going with the White Sox on that one. Who? The White Sox?
Exactly.
Like, you now have a job at ESPN. Yeah, Mooney, 31 hits, 14 homers, 961 OPS, 1.3 WAR, and suddenly
14 home runs. It's the league, leads the league.
Yeah, he's tied with one Aaron Judge.
He's tied with the Judge. That's amazing.
Doing this all through first time seeing, most of these pitchers.
Yeah.
I think the only guy he's seen twice, and the White Sox have seen twice, is who came into the two White Sox series as the best pitcher in baseball and has now been blown up by the Sox have scored 8 earned runs off of that.
Jose Soriano?
Yeah, from
that his name?
The Angels.
Neither of us knew who he was before that series with the Sox. I never heard of the guy. He's like dominating our AL. We should know him. We're in an AL only, very shallow AL only fantasy league. I didn't remember his name at all. He had been the dominant pitcher in all of baseball until he saw your White Sox.
Yeah, he had let up 1 run to 6 other teams, and he's let up 8 runs to the White Sox.
What is going on there? I mean, that is clearly fueled by Mooney Murakami.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say over the last week, Mooney's added the base hit to his arsenal, which was not really prevalent at the beginning of the year. We were calling him, just basically the 3 outcome guy. It was home run, strikeout, or walk. But now he's roping doubles and singles.
No, he's not doubles. This is the stat.
He just hit a double. He just hit a double the other night. Yeah.
Was it last night? Okay.
No, 2 nights ago.
Okay, then that's his first because he's got 31 hits, 14 of which are home runs. Apparently 1 double now, and the other half are singles. So he's kind of like the 4 not true outcomes, but he's the 4 outcome guy. He's either strikes out, gets a walk, hits a home run, or a single. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Damn it. I wish he didn't screw up that stat for me.
Well, he did, thankfully. They took the ball off the field and got it authenticated for a first fucking double. I mean, Jesus. That means that guy probably has 3 balls already authenticated. First home run, first single, and first double. I mean, baseball can oversaturate anything for a buck.
So
but yeah, I mean,
we got to compare him. I mean, this is our weekly segment comparing the 3 rookies. We've got Mooney, Magoo, which the Tigers start now.
What's with Magoo?
McGonigal. He needs a nickname. I brought this up months ago. He needs a nickname, and no one's landed on anything better.
Magoo?
I think he just should be called Hacksaw. I want him to be Hacksaw. It makes no sense,
Magoo,
but it's better than Magoo.
A blind cartoon character?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. We were calling him Mac G.
Mac G's better than Magoo, I think. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, who cares? He's great. 41 hits, 2 homers, 869 OPS. He's kind of dropped off of that a little bit from where he was in prior weeks, but 2.3 WAR. I mean, then go ahead.
He's got a one win better than Murakami somehow. It's got to just be defense and base running, clearly. But 10 more hits than Murakami, but the power is not Murakami's at all. He's 14-2 in the home runs thing. He does load up on doubles compared to Mooney, but the OPS is the main factor that switched since last week because McGonigal had 20 points better, I think. I can't remember now. I know it's slightly better than Murakami. Murakami's kind of leveled off and just stays in the 900s where McGonigal has dropped off a bit in the OPS. But we were talking about, at least last week, we introduced Mo Baller, Moises Ballesteros from the Cubs into this conversation.
Yeah, this guy is raking right now. He's part of the reason the Cubs are winning, honestly.
Yeah, big part. Yeah. Well, you got his stats there?
Yeah, 26 hits in a very short amount of time, amassing hits like crazy. 6 homers, 941 OPS, and 1 WAR already. So, he's coming on to be a healthy part of this conversation.
He's getting more plate appearances Jesus, any manager should know he needs to be in the lineup as much as possible now. So,
yeah.
I think he still trails. We introduced him last week into our own Rookie of the Year race. The 4 teams we cover. We didn't come up with a Brewers candidate yet, but maybe one will emerge. But those three give legitimate cases. We're not just making shit up for fun. They're both balling. All 3 are balling. But I think it's contrary to what Major League Baseball says. I think over the first month, I think we've got to give the Rookie of the Month to Mooney Murakami instead of Kevin McGonigal. I'm kind of amazed I'm doing that, but you look at the numbers. McGonigal has got more hits and a bigger WAR, but the 14 home runs leading the majors, tied with Aaron Judge. And it's just an amazing thing. Like you pointed out, the first time he's seeing pitchers, he went off in the first weekend before pitchers knew anything about him. He had 3 home runs against your Brewers. He kind of tailed off after that. They stopped throwing him fastballs, and he had kind of a down week. He figured something else out because nobody can figure out how to keep him in the ballpark. So I don't think you're going to disagree with me. You cool with making McGonigal or making Mooney our Rookie of the week of the month? Leading the race, at least at this moment. I
am okay with that. Yeah, no argument out of me.
I think McGonigal's been in the lead since we started this, but Mooney's just been consistent, so I think he's edged ahead a little bit.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Obviously.
Okay, I'll fight you if you want.
Well, it's interesting because with Murakami, like the home run he hit the other night was he just is strong, right? Yeah. He hit a home run on a outside pitch above the letters.
Jesus.
And just took it out. And you could hear it when you heard the sound of the bat and everyone just went in the ballpark went, oh. So I believe with that, we'll transition over to the red hot White Sox. A half game out of first. Winning is fun. Baseball is fun on the South Side again, but there are a lot of cool key takeaways as to why the White Sox suddenly have a winning formula. 1, you got a Cy Young candidate in Davis Martin.
Whoa. Not Martin Davis?
Either one. He has the 4th best ERA in all of baseball, and it only trails the Yankees' Cam Schlittler, sorry.
Easy.
By 0.12 for the best ERA in the AL.
Wow.
This guy he dominated the other night, 7 innings and 10 strikeouts against a somewhat formidable hitting Angels lineup with Trout and Soler's hitting home runs again this year.
Yeah.
And Odell, who had 35 home runs last year. So kept them in check. And overall, the White Sox starting pitching has been really good. The starting pitching is 3rd in the AL, but they only have a team best 8th in the AL in pitching because of some shaky bullpen outings, as I've talked about over and over. You wonder what their record would be if they had a more solid performance out of the bullpen, because they have fallen to some 7th inning or later losses, which was a common theme last year. So little better performance out of the bullpen, and could be talking about a first place White Sox team right now.
Well, and your general manager addressed that in the offseason by signing Sir Anthony Dominguez, and I forget who the other guy he signed. I thought those are kind of curious moves at the time, considering I didn't think you would be in contention. So, closing out games wasn't a huge priority. It would probably be a move to trade somebody at the deadline because they're all 1-year deals. But proves I am foolish, and Chris Getz knew exactly what he was doing. Is you needed to shore up that bullpen. Unfortunately, it's not worked out, as you just pointed out, quite as often as you think. But I think that in the long term it will.
Yeah, it's starting to trend in the right direction because like the Sox are like, kind of middle of the road, 8th in team ERA, 8th in OPS, 5th in fielding percentage. But when we were looking at this shit in mid-April, you had brought up, and I said, I agree. They were like near last in every one of these categories.
Yeah.
So now that they've moved to the middle of the pack in the AL, that is a sign of goodness to come.
When you talk about the AL, we got to bring up that there's only 3 teams now that have winning records above 500 in the entire American League.
Yes.
One of which is the fucking Los Oklahoma A's, which is hilarious. I think they're 1 game over, but the Rays and the Yankees, of course, are running away with it.
Yeah, the Rays have come on.
They were 9-1 in their last 10. I don't know if they won last night.
They won last night, yeah.
So maybe that's 10. I don't know. 10.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, it's funny because when you, even though this is just as foolish fun, but you go look at the wild card standings, and 4 teams from the AL Central make the playoffs if the season ended today.
Yeah, I think you're in, right? At least you were last night.
Yeah, we're in the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah,
what are we whining about?
I'm all for the season ending today, by the way. I don't know about you. I think, again, way too early to be making this call, but if this White Sox trend stays, I think you're looking at manager of the year, too, with Will Venable. Yeah. Like, there is no way that...
If you finish close to 500, he wins it. I mean, if you make the playoffs, it's a no-brainer. But I think the turnaround, having so many 100 lost seasons in a row, you got to give it to him at this point.
Yeah, it's just... I know you're probably actually kind of happy the White Sox are doing better because it's a much happier Pete on this podcast, a much more fun guy to do the podcast with. Maybe sometimes a little too obnoxious, but that's all right.
That's the double-edged sword that is podcasting with you. You get too excited and then you get cocky and obnoxious. But then I don't want you to be downtrodden and sullen. So it's a fine balance I'm walking here.
Yeah,
I never know what I'm going to get.
It's a deck of cards. It could fall at any moment. Or house of cards, I should say. Sorry, excuse me. Other key takeaway on something that's starting to balance out a little bit for the White Sox is, we were 54, we were like 58, 54 reliant on runs from hitting the long ball. Now it's leveled out to 50% and we're still winning games, and the Sox are doing something interesting, and there's been a few articles written about it. They have made the bunt sexy again. Now, the bunt does not sound sexy at all. Sounds like one of the most boring things to do in baseball, but
rhymes with
Sox,
bunt.
the Sox have a very balanced lineup for once, and this is why they're able to win in multiple ways. They have a lot of speed on the team. They are no longer what we've talked about for decades, a station-to-station team. I mean, we have guys who can run to first full speed and not come out of the game for 2 weeks. They stay in the game.
That was a scary proposition for like half a decade for you guys.
Half a decade, maybe in a decade. I mean,
you're
right, half a decade. The rebuild team
post-pandemic. It was dicey running to first. I don't know about those vaccination shots.
It's really
what
weird.
They do to White Sox hamstrings.
It's really weird this year, the amount of double plays we've stayed out of and amount of throws to first we beat out. And,
wow.
And the players have remained on the field. It's crazy. Yeah. But you can tell that, part of winning baseball is getting the right group of guys together, and you never know what you're going to do when you bring in people from the outside, and team starts to gel, and it's not a lie. Winning can be contagious, and everyone's everyone, it's just all clicking right now. We'll see what this is like another month from now, but I'm so pleased with my White Sox. And you know what? Because I like to be obnoxious, I will predict that the White Sox will be leading the AL Central by at least a game the next time we podcast.
Wow, that's very possible. I mean, they're half game out right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's no one is certainly separating themselves in the AL Central or the American League in general. Just what a quagmire. This is kind of a hilarious start to the season. So in some ways.
But I think now it's time to hop on that red line and head over to
8 miles north.
The red line for the red hot, hottest team in baseball, the Cubs.
They might be. I mean, with 2 walk-offs in a row, 13 wins at Wrigley consecutively. They are 17 wins in their last 20. It is a fucking party on the north side right now.
I mean, it always is a party there.
No, yeah,
winning or losing.
It's true. That's why I love living there for 25 years. But it's like a tangible party, even for the players and their manager at this point. As last week, manager Craig Counsell got his 900th victory as a manager, celebrated with a shot, which is not remarkable. That happens all the time in baseball. Alcohol is a staple of the baseball experience. But it was an interesting choice in shots in that he chose a Chicago legendary shot, Malört, which you and I are very familiar with in our time, I don't know, better part of a decade, frequenting dive bars across the city where you can always find shots of Malört. We didn't partake too often, but...
I was just retelling our first experience of Malört. Do you remember our first experience of Malört?
No, I don't. I remember a different experience. I don't know which one was the first.
Okay. Would you like me to refresh your memory?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you and I have just left the White Sox game, and it was a White Sox Tigers game, and it may have all coincided with the night the Hawks won the Stanley Cup, and we had that weird moment where I was the only one who saw the goal
what was
in the bar.
What's the bar underneath the bleacher, underneath the bullpen?
I don't know what they call it. Yeah, the bullpen sports
names.
Bar is what it was.
Beer cave.
Yeah, it was a bullpen sports bar back then, actually.
Okay.
And
you were the only one that saw that. Was it Patrick Kane?
Yeah,
scored the Stanley Cup winning goal.
I literally, there's a bar full of people, and one guy goes,
hundreds. There's probably 200 people. Yeah, you were going nuts.
And everyone's looking at me like, well, look at the drunk moron over there.
Well, it was you and Patrick Kane were like the only ones that knew it because it hit the crossbar at the back of the net and came out so fast nobody knew except for you. And about 5 seconds later, they were starting to do a review, and then the siren went off and everyone went crazy.
Yeah. So we then proceed. It is.
By the way, the Tigers lost that game 15-0.
Yes, that's why we were down in the bar. That's why we were down in the bar. So then we proceed to head over to the Interstellar Cafe where Meg Bradley is having her birthday celebration.
That's right.
And we walk in and they're like, hey, and everyone's pretty sauced. And, we're feeling pretty good ourselves. We've been at a baseball game for 9 innings and watched the Stanley Cup clinching.
We were doing quite well.
We were doing quite well. And they're like, have you ever had Malört? And we're like, no.
Well, see, I thought you knew all about Malört way before I did, but
no,
it's a shared experience.
It was a shared experience, and we drank it, and we were like, wow. But then for some reason, we got coaxed into 5 more shots of that night.
I don't remember 5. Well, maybe that's why I don't remember. We did 5. I have Malört is renowned for how terrible it is. It's wormwood is the key ingredient, which just sounds disgusting. I don't know how to describe it. It's awful. Actually, you've got the description there. We'll get to in a second. But I think all shots are disgusting. I mean, I don't like hard alcohol that much. I'm a beer guy, so Malört is just a different kind of disgusting to me. Shots are fun, but they're always a bad idea. I think even worse is Jägermeister. I think that's the most disgusting shot there is. So my attitude towards Malört, it's just another shot. It's kind of become legendary in how terrible it is. So I think that's kind of fun. And it's certainly a Chicago legend.
It is. Do you want me to read the?
Well, yeah. This is such a story with Craig Counsell doing a shot of Malört, and also it was, I think, revealed in that same article. The player of the game for the Cubs, celebrated in the clubhouse every game, does a shot of Malört, and that's how that came to Craig Counsell's attention. So it's kind of a staple of this version of the Cubs. So the Athletic, I think was it Patrick Mooney wrote? Oh, I didn't give you the author's name.
I think that's who it was, though.
Okay, had to write a whole story about this. I pulled out the key quote that describes what Malört really is.
All right, so Malört is a Chicago-born classic of sorts. Started long ago by Swedish immigrant Carl Jeppsson, who sold the digestive as a medicinal product during the Prohibition era.
That's a wily move to sell alcohol during Prohibition.
Well, it was medicinal.
Medicine.
So, it's medicine. Jeppsson, according to the origin story on the company's website, skirted federal regulation given the recurring conclusion by law enforcement that nobody would drink his concoction recreationally. Which is hilarious.
Malört, I mean, I feel like it's growing in popularity now that it's been mentioned by The Athletic, aka the New York Times. They've got a website still going. I see them on social media. Maybe this is just my algorithm is pointing me towards alcohol more than most, but they've got a hilarious social media setup. They've had over the years either viral, like fake marketing, like people are just doing this, or this was their marketing. I just remember a couple of the taglines from their ads were like Jeppsson's Malört, tonight's the night you fight your dad, or Jeppsson's Malört, these pants aren't going to shit themselves. It's so good. They've got videos all over the place. So check out Malört. I don't recommend drinking it necessarily, but certainly check out their social media and website. But
I would like to say it is an acquired taste that I do not mind. It's citrus,
that's the thing. I don't really care.
Grapefruit and pepper to me.
I don't. Boy, I haven't had a shot of Malört in quite a while. Actually, I was just on their website a couple weeks ago. I was thinking I needed it for my, just to have it in my home bar here. Just be a cool bottle to have. Not that I'd be necessarily sipping off of it very often, but you can buy their stuff online, but they don't ship it over state lines, I guess. So
right.
Next time I'm in town, I'll have to pick up a fifth.
There is, just real quick so we can tie this up, since this is not a liquor broadcast, but
why not?
You are 100% correct on the legend of Malört, because when I was in my prior career and we'd have clients come in from out of town, occasionally they'd be like, if we were going out for drinks, like, oh, will the bar have Malört? And like it had gotten to a point. I have one client would come into town and they would actually buy a bottle and bring it back.
Wow.
So it has in its, with I think some of that fun marketing that they may or may not have done, but allowed out there and shared it themselves, I believe. So it's brilliant. It's kind of become like it's right there with like the Italian beef and a Rick Benny's breaded steak sandwich of like, things to eat in Chicago. It's really weird, but
gotta have a shot of
Malört. Yeah. Of course, the Chicago handshake is a famous thing you can get at a bar, which is an old style and a shot of Malört.
Yeah. So I forgot about that.
So anyway.
I never had the handshake, but
I've had plenty of handshakes, and I had a shot of Malört maybe 3 weeks ago. So
did you really?
Oh yeah.
Wow, what was going on there? Cubs win. Cubs win.
No. Little birthday celebration.
Oh, nice
for some people. So
last time I was trying to think. The last time I had Malört, I remember this had to be 2013. So that wasn't the last time. It was at Canopic's bachelor party. I remember you and I specifically were doing shots, and I remember it tasting fantastic. Not just be like bearable. I could get through it. I thought it tasted great. So maybe they weren't even giving us Malört at that point at Justin's. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember that. There's a great shot of you after the Malört.
There is.
Like screaming.
Yeah, I've used it on the website.
Yes.
For better part of a decade. It's not there anymore. But
that may be also that other shot of me like this, like the middle finger up, pulling my eye down, looking crazy.
It might be.
I think
so that was a very good time having Malört for sure. Last time I had it was not such a good time. And I'm not even sure. This is I can't even tell the whole story, but Canopic invited me to a bar crawl in Evanston about 10 years ago now. So it has been 10 years since I had Malört, because this is the last time, or allegedly had Malört, because we partied all day. And then I actually left. We were still in Evanston, but I had to get back to the city late at night. But a bunch of Noel's friends were coming back to the city, so I just rode with them. And then we ended up going to Newport Lounge.
Yeah.
And I talked to everyone into getting Malört, and we were trashed at that point. And we did the shots, and I'm like, this doesn't taste anything like Malört. So I have a feeling for really drunk people, they don't even bother. They just give. I didn't see them pour the shot, so I have no idea. Or maybe I was blacking out while they were pouring the shots. So that might be a Chicago staple too, just to bars actually save their shots and trick people into drinking something else. But there's way more to that story that I'll have to tell you off the air. But
okay,
we'll move on.
Well, again, get back to the north side. I mean,
well, I just want
PCA's hitting, and
PCA. I forgot. I've got this. I had the stat and I lost it, but he's got 2 home runs this week. He's got boosted his OPS. He's getting on base. Does not look lost at the plate the way he had. So, just wanted to. Maybe we should do a PCA update every week, because he is a lightning rod, specifically all over the place, but specifically for this podcast too. So.
Yeah, you know we never covered is his awesome jersey.
Oh, is that the basketball jersey?
Yeah.
That's going to be in July, I think. He designed a giveaway or a ticket.
Cover that for eyewash in July then.
Yeah, it's funny because it's actually, I remember now, I sent that to you, because that's part of a promo the day after
we're going. Oh,
yeah,
darn! I wish it was the day of. Oh,
yeah, I and Canopic and maybe Callahan will be going to the Tigers-Cubs game in the bleachers on July 20th or 21st. I always get those screwed up, but the Monday of that week. And then
the 20th. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the giveaway is the 21st. So
I think maybe in honor of that being the next day, I should wear the White Sox basketball jersey to the bleachers.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Of course, if I could get that giveaway, I'd wear the PCA basketball jersey while you wear your Sox brand basketball jersey. And we'll never release the video because it would be too disgusting to see both of us being sleeveless.
Especially since my White Sox jersey is like a medium too.
Oh no, that's all they had medium.
That's all they had left. So it's a little snug around the waist area.
That's another good look. Jesus. Well, that's all I've got for the Cubs. I just wanted to party. I'm so angry about my Tigers. I just wanted to have a party with the Cubs, and they sound ready to party.
They sound ready to party. I think the only bad news is the setback with Justin Steele, but I don't think it's anything major, right?
I was going to bring that up, but it is major.
It is? Okay.
Well, because it's the same issue he had prior to surgery. He had forearm discomfort or tightness or whatever they're calling it. So he's shut down, but that he basically has to start over. Does he? If it's the same symptoms before he had the surgery, does this mean he re-injured it and will have to have surgery again? It's kind of devastating news. So thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, it's huge news. But I mean, that was over a week ago, and this is when the Cubs have gone on the winning streak. So it's kind of amazing what they're doing with the depleted pitching staff.
They absorbed it and turned it into a positive.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's good life advice right there.
Yeah. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
Exactly. Words to live by. Thank you.
Well, because there's a lot of lemons being handed out north of Wrigley, boy. I thought I wanted to make sure we got that Steele segment in. As a Steele segment in before we transition to the Brewers.
That was a masterful segue right there.
Yeah, I wanted.
It's like 11. No, it's noon here in Michigan, so it's 11 o'clock. It sounds like we've been drinking Malört already. On a Wednesday morning.
You know, I've turned into the master of transition. So
yeah,
I will.
You love your segues.
I love my segues. And bad and good news for the Brewers. We'll start with the bad news. Brandon Woodruff left the game on April 30th.
Oh, yeah.
With shoulder inflammation. He's on the 15-day IL. He is their ace. No other way to put it, since they moved on from
everyone else.
Yeah.
All the previous aces.
Yeah. So they luckily the X-rays, MRIs revealed no structural damage. So hopefully it's something he can manage and get back up onto the field.
That's the same scenario for Casey Mize for the Tigers, shoulder inflammation. So it's a common occurrence.
Yes. And then other bad news, well, maybe not so bad news, but Angel Zerpa, who was supposed to be a key acquisition for the bullpen, they traded for with the Royals in the offseason, and he had a great run in the World Baseball Classic, but then since he's been on the Brewers, he's been shit. So he's having season-ending Tommy John surgery, but may not be the worst thing in the world. Let me run some numbers by you and see what you think. I think it could be addition by subtraction. He has allowed 7 of 9 inherited runners to score and 16 hits over 12 and 2/3 innings. Not going to be missed. You're not going to be missed, Zerpa. But so he gone. The good news is, though, Jackson Chourio and Andrew Vaughn both returned to the lineup on Monday. And even though the Brewers lost 6-3 that day, Jackson Chourio had 4 fucking hits.
Yeah, I saw
all that. With an exit velocity of 102 miles per hour or higher.
I'd say he's healthy.
Yes. 2 of them are doubles. I mean, dude can rake. We might be getting an offense back, but we may not have pitching. So, still 2 games over 500 in a very highly competitive NL Central.
Yeah, as shitty as the AL Central is, the NL Central is the opposite, which we've talked about already. They're the best division in baseball.
Best division in baseball, and much to both of our chagrin, the Cardinals have emerged as one of the powerhouses of the division.
I'm not worried about the Cardinals.
Through smoke and fucking mirrors, man. Come on.
Yeah,
what is this?
They're all bullshit. I haven't paid too much attention. I've seen them up in the standings there, but I'm not worried about the Cardinals. I think their pitching is gonna come home to roost, whatever that means.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Roost they will. Basically every team right now for the most part is dealing with tight injuries, but the Brewers are just really piled up. Even Yelich is out. He's on the IL now too.
That guy's hurt all the time.
But he's always on the IL. And they managed to navigate around that. But I think with getting Jackson Chourio back, getting Andrew Vaughn back, if Vaughn is the Vaughn he was there, not the Vaughn that I'm used to
Northside Vaughn
seeing.
versus Southside Vaughn.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, was it an anomaly? Because history would show it was an anomaly. Or was it like he's got a better hitting coach, that plays to his strength and keeps him on track. I don't know.
I think he wanted, no offense, but I think he wanted no part of being a White Sox. I think that's what it comes down to. He there's stories written about that we can bring out, but as soon as he got out of the South Side, he became the legit power hitter that he was always supposed to be. So I think the Brewers can count on him being legit going forward now that he's healthy.
So, we should see some offense get going there. And obviously, they're in it. We'll see. I'm sure the Bucks are going to trail off. I'm confident the Reds are going to trail off.
They already are.
They
Cubs are putting their stamp on that one.
Yeah, and they just have a terrible run differential, like just horrendous, where you look and you go, that's not sustainable to winning. So
boy, look at you. You're into run differential now.
Well, I go back and forth on it, and it works for my story.
When it suits your needs.
I'm going to say this. Yeah, exactly. You said it. I don't even have to say it. Yeah, when it works for my narrative, is
that's a better way
great.
To say it.
It's great, and I'm using it for this narrative. But
nice work.
But all kidding aside, like, for the most part, run differential will kind of show you.
Maybe not in May, but by the end of the year,
by the end
indicative.
of the year. Yeah.
But
yeah, my joke is I use it early in the season.
You'll use it for a series.
I'll use it for a fucking series to make my point.
Well played, sir.
But anyway, it's all because of Theo Epstein. Because he tried
always comes back to Theo.
Well, he tried to sell when the Cubs didn't make the playoffs or lost in the first round of the playoffs that, well, he had a great run differential. Okay.
I'm sure he said it like that. Too.
He did. He said, and I was at the Starbucks, Peter, and I have a great run differential.
He developed that South Side accent very quickly in his 10 years in Chicago.
He sure did. Anyway, that's all I got for the Brew Crew.
All right. Well, this has been a fun episode. I got to vent. I got to talk about the Cubs partying.
And now.
But this might be my favorite segment, the most fun I've ever had for any segment we've ever done in a podcast, because it combines two of my favorite segments. Eyewash, which used to be called Aesthetics, which is just about logos, uniforms, etc. Just all the shit that doesn't really matter, but I'm obsessed with as a career graphic designer and designer in the minor league baseball industry for 20 years. It's kind of crazy to think about now, but close to my heart, a passion of mine. But another segment we came up with, another passion of mine. You and I were both journalism majors in college, huge fans of the movie and book Watergate.
Yes.
All the President's Men. The investigative journalism. Journalism is a passion, but investigative journalism is always fun and interesting. And we like to pretend that we're journalists and investigating shit. But I actually have real evidence and I did a real investigation on a thing that came up this past week. It was maybe 2 weeks ago now, but I'm not sure if you saw, but there was huge controversy in New York where they are potentially releasing alternate uniforms for the first time. The Yankees might have something besides pinstripes at home and grays on the road. The story goes that the players are pushing management to give them a third jersey, an alternate jersey to wear on the road. And this story was posted on MLB.com, and then also on The Athletic, which is AKA the New York Times. And I clipped a part of that article from the Athletic.
Yes.
What's going on?
Yeah. New York Yankees players recently pitched higher ups on the team wearing alternate jerseys for the first time in franchise history. A league source briefed on the conversations told The Athletic. League
source briefed. I mean, that's either someone from MLB's marketing department or someone directly from the Yankees. I also emphasize the words recently, or the players recently pushed. They approached higher ups. How was that worded in the first sentence?
Pitched higher ups.
To higher ups. So they're saying this idea is coming from the players. The management, the marketing department, the Yankees have nothing to do with this. This is all from the players.
Nike has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Is that the impression that you're getting from that? I'm
getting that the Yankees organization wants to keep the purity of the pinstripes and road grays, which they've held hard on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounded bad.
Sorry.
But
125 years they've held true to.
Have not given into a City Connect jersey or anything like that.
Yep.
So that's the way the story goes. Yes.
Well, that's the story they're pitching to us. We should describe the jersey. It's the navy. It's basically their batting practice jersey they use on the road. It's just navy with the block letter New York in gray outlined in white, almost the reverse version of their road grays. It's very simple. It looks like they could have had this third jersey for decades and it wouldn't have, no one would have batted an eye.
Yeah.
But Yankees fans are so fucking precious about all this shit. There was an uproar when last year they relaxed their no facial hair policy. People are upset about that, clutching their pearls now that they might have a third uniform, a third jersey to wear. This is the Yankees and their fans. And I think this story is kind of a plant from the Yankees because they're terrified of the reaction of their own fan base. They're trying to say that we would never do this, but the players you love, Aaron Judge, Jazz Chisholm, all these guys, they want these jerseys and we want to give it to them. So don't be mad at us. You need to embrace change. This has nothing to do with marketing. This has nothing to do with selling millions more Yankees jerseys. This is all the players. And I have evidence to prove this is 100% false.
Whoa!
Now, I'm not the first one to bring this up. This is not necessarily the truth, that it looks like a narrative, as you probably don't know who this is, but sportslogos.net has been a blog that's existed for 30 years now. It's the go-to source for all sports, but baseball in particular also. Catalogs all new uniforms, all new logos, everything that comes out. It's basically like one website dedicated to eyewash, but it's for all sports. It's kind of my dream website. I've been referencing it for close to 30 years. It's a guy out of Toronto, actually, Chris Creamer. Very respected. It's a real business now. He's not just some wacky blogger like us. He has ties with Major League Baseball, all the major leagues. He's a respected logo journalist, is what it comes down to. He just started his own podcast, just called sportslogos.net podcast, where he brought this up on episode 9. I think they just released episode 10. So this would have been 2 weeks or last week or 2 weeks ago. He called bullshit on the Yankees too. Because he's an insider. He's got access to all this stuff. He said he knew about this alternate uniform as early as last December because it was posted on the Yankees official MLB style guide, which that perked my interest because I started thinking, you know what? I've got access to the Yankees official style guide. Because I work in the industry, I've worked in minor league baseball for 20 years. I have a login to MLBpressbox.com, ideally to download minor league logos. So, the Lugnuts, or back in the day when I was working with the Biscuits, if their opponents, we needed to make a graphic with their opponents' logos, I could just go there and download. It's just a universal resource for minor league baseball. But it also includes everything from Major League Baseball, which I'm kind of shocked they don't partition that off. I have access to all the Major League Baseball style sheets. So I went, as the investigative journalist that I am, I went to MLBpressbox.com, downloaded the Yankees style sheet, and right there, I've got a screenshot of it that I can share eventually. It lists a third jersey of the navy with the gray New York block lettering and white outline as an alternate jersey. So this I just did last week, of course. So you could say maybe the Yankees just uploaded this because the players are pushing for it, whatever. Chris Creamer is saying he saw it back in December. Well, there's no date on the PDF that I downloaded or the EPS that I downloaded. It just says the day I downloaded it. So usually there's a created by. You can see that on your own files. But since I just downloaded it from a website, it just said May 2nd or whatever day it was I was looking at it. So that was kind of a dead end for me. But then I started thinking, can I look up the version of the program that it was created in? Maybe that would give some insight. And this was created, of course, in Adobe Illustrator, which I use Illustrator all day, every day, all day long. That is the industry staple for graphic design, especially logo design. I'm very familiar with Illustrator. So I started poking around that as well. And it says that it was created in Illustrator version 29.7. And I looked at my own, and realized I'm on Illustrator 30.2. Like I wouldn't have better technology than the Yankees at this point, could I? I mean, how does that work? Well, I looked it up. 29.7 was released in July of 2025, last summer. There was a version 29.8 released in August of last summer. So this file was created last July. I can confirm that, unless I guess the Occam's razor or whatever you have to use in journalism to eliminate all other variables. Could the Yankees have pirated a copy of Illustrator last July and just kept that instead of having to pay the subscription fee that everyone else has to pay to Adobe that gives you automatic updates. I say that's very unlikely that they're pirating software at this point and choose to have an older version of Illustrator in their art department.
Do you think the possibility exists they went to New York Chinatown and bought a hard copy of Illustrator from one of the street vendors?
They've got like a little CD-ROM that they're using. They're running Illustrator on.
There you go.
Decided that last July. They could not possibly afford the $700 subscription fee.
Let's run down to Chinatown, get a copy down there.
So I don't know. I don't know about you and your journalistic instincts, but I'm going to use Occam's razor and say that is not what happened. In fact, this file was at least created last July, which would refute the report from MLB.com and The Athletic saying it was recently pitched to higher ups by the players. Certainly, it's not recent. I can prove it's not recent. You could say maybe the players pushed this last year. Maybe around this time last year, and the Yankees capitulated and finally decided they were going to do it and just didn't announce it until recently. And uploaded the file because they had to in July of last year. I don't know about that. Seems dubious. So it made me laugh. This is just stupid. Of course, this is all stupid, but it just made me laugh that the Yankees are going to such lengths to try to say that this is a player-driven thing and not a marketing decision. It just makes them look small and funny that it's the Yankees of all teams they're literally scared of their own fan base, the reaction that they'll get by pushing this out there. So they think they're going to sell more of these if they push the idea that it's a player's idea rather than a marketing thing. So I just wanted to use my limited abilities, my limited access, my limited insider access. Wanted to bring that to the podcast. It's also fun to expose the Yankees for just being silly and foolish and creating a false narrative and using the New York Times, an entity of the New York Times, to spread this lie. So the Yankees, you're a bunch of liars.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting to...
Is it?
No, it is.
I hope that was.
No, it is somewhat interesting that a team would go to such great length over something to me that seems pretty trivial.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that is the fear of the vitriol of Yankees fans for any minor change to their beloved brand.
But like they're not going to stop showing up to the park. They're upset. Like it's the only way they're not going to show up to the park is when the Yankees aren't so good. They do. They won't. They bought the tickets. They just don't show up.
That's actually part of it. I mean, since they haven't won the World Series since 2009.
I know, fucking
people are like literally the furor over this is like, well, they've relaxed the facial hair policy. They're putting patches on their sleeves. They're giving us alternate jerseys. They're not focused on winning. That's the narrative that they're terrified of that is happening. So whatever. Oh, the plight to be a fucking Yankees fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough for it's tough being a Yankees fan, like, kind of always winning. And, it's tough dealing with injuries. And, Garrett Cole, he's been out for a while.
Yeah.
But now he's down in the minors making rehab starts. And
I was kind of surprised. I heard that this morning. I was surprised he's already doing a rehab stint because I didn't think he was coming back until late, middle of the summer earliest. So he must be doing quite well in his rehab.
Yeah, this is like his third start.
Okay. So he's not far from being back up.
And, he made the news because he's got a little of Framber Valdez in him.
A little bit.
Yeah. But he's using it to hit White Sox minor league player of the month. Caleb Bonmer.
This is amazing.
This is crazy. So just let's lay it out.
This was last night, was it not?
This was last night. So okay. they were teed up together, which is even crazier. The weirdness of baseball and both things happened on the same night. But Bonmer took Garrett Cole deep. He's the White Sox number 3 spot prospect. He hit 12 home runs in the month of April. So
yeah, he's on a fucking tear. It's got to be leading the minors in home runs.
He's actually there's a great tie-in here. He's actually tied with Cubs AAA Iowa's Kevin Alcantara.
Oh, okay.
They both have 13 home runs.
Well, Alcantara's in AAA, and this is your single A affiliate, is it not?
Yeah, the Winston Salem Dash.
Okay.
So apparently Garrett Cole wasn't happy that he let up a home run to one of the best minor league hitters right now. And as a pro, he thought, let me just drill this guy.
What a small-minded, just thin-skinned idea that a major league pitcher on a rehab stint would plunk a minor leaguer, a single A minor leaguer, for just merely hitting a home run off him. Now, I heard about this on the radio this morning, and I have not seen video, but the report I was given, at least from a Chicago source on the radio, said there was no bat flip involved. He just rounded the bases like normal. He wasn't showing up the major leaguer.
No, he was not.
You'd think Garrett Cole. He's won Cy Youngs. He hasn't won World Series, but you'd think he'd have thicker skin than that. He could deal with it. It just makes him look fucking terrible. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was crazy because it looked just like the Valdez pitch too. It just completely
middle of the back.
Yeah, just there was no question.
Yeah. Did he get ejected? I didn't hear that part.
They didn't. When I saw it on, like I said, before we started doing the podcast and we're going over like pre-game notes, I didn't realize when I was watching it this morning on MLB when I walked back in the room that it was even Winston-Salem and it was Caleb Bonmer. So I think it's Bonmer, by the way, guys. It could be Bonmer.
I think it's Bonmer,
but it's Bonmer. But yeah, so I don't know what to make of it. But I mean, if we're handing out assholes of the week, I mean, this has to.
If we were going to revive asshole of the week, which we haven't done in a while, we did a brand overhaul last winter.
Yeah.
I think if for anything, if we revive it, it should be for Garrett Cole. I would happily make him our asshole of the week.
Or he's our enemy of the week. I mean, seriously.
I like that. Maybe enemy of the week.
He's the enemy of the week. I mean, D-Rose, like, he was hilarious. He's like, you're down. You're a major league pitcher and you're drilling minor leaguers. Just get back up in the majors then. You're ready, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's totally embarrassing. He should be embarrassed.
We were trying to decide where we were going to stick this information, but I forgot. This could almost be another shit Pete forgot. But I also feel like as embarrassing as it is that the Yankees are afraid to introduce a New Jersey, it's equally as embarrassing, if not more, that they have their major league pitcher drilling minor league single A players. Single A! Not even somebody could possibly face probably, maybe next year. But God, dude, you're fucking jagbag, man.
Well, I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this episode. 186. Garrett Cole, you are our asshole of the week.
Enemy of the week.
Enemy of the week, yes. You're more dedicated to this brand than I am.
Yeah, and it's your mastermind.
I don't know about mastermind, but I've got a lot of spare time, I guess.
And everyone out there, if you love this podcast like we love it, look at this hat I'm wearing.
Oh,
look
you're wearing the lifestyle hat.
This is like Fashion Cap 101. You can go out to these swanky supper clubs and speakeasies and walk in with this cap and your fresh pair of sneaks on and your look, and they'd be like, dang, you look good. So get yourself one of these Enemy of My Enemy caps.
Yeah, enemyball.com, and then click on the Shopify icon at the bottom of the page. Well, thank you for that commercial. Thank you for letting me vent. Thank you for starting a podcast with me 6 years ago now, because I needed a vent today. I feel much better now than when we started. I got to vent about my Tigers and end with some eyewash and investigative journalism. So hardball deep throat there. This is maybe one of my favorite episodes ever. So we'll see how it sounds when we chop it all up and I release this in a couple hours. So I hope you had fun over there. I
had a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with baseball. last year, you know, we were maybe not going to be able to record the podcast at the time we're recording it now due to
different life situations.
Different life situations. And I actually said last year I would have said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine whenever in the afternoon." But today I said, "Well, the Sox are on at 3."
Yeah,
that
was remarkable to me.
Yeah,
you can't. We cannot record this afternoon because you got to watch your fucking White Sox.
That's right.
I understand that. I just have not heard that from you in quite some time.
Yeah. So yeah. Last year I would have been like, yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay.
Well, I might be watching your White Sox. I might be watching Champions League soccer to see who Arsenal will face in the Champions League final at the end of the month in Budapest. So we'll see. Maybe I'll switch back and forth.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll see.
Wow. Great. Yeah.
You should get into soccer. I think you would like it.
I'm okay. I don't want to watch people.
I want to do a soccer podcast.
Well, don't you have someone else to do that with? Canopy?
No, you're the only one that knows what they're doing. And you barely know what you're doing. So
yeah, I know what I'm doing. I think
you are the king of segues.
I might listen to this week's podcast.
Yeah, I hope you do for once. Appreciate that. With that, I'm going to wrap up this episode 186 of Enemy of My Enemy. You can find us on the web at enemyball.com, on all social media channels at enemyball, and you can find this podcast anywhere you'd like to find a podcast. So with that, I'm going to declare this podcast is over. Peace.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
One guy poured beer all over my head. The guy said, "How can you take that?" I said, "Look, that man didn't do nothing. He poured some beer on my head. He's just showing he's a White Sox fan. There ain't nothing wrong with that."
Sparky, a million thanks for, as always, the most interesting interview. And now today, let's just have a lot of thrilling baseball and not so many fisticuffs.
We're at home